You were lied to about hard work, not maliciously, not intentionally, but the advice you were given stopped working, and no one told you. People are working harder than ever. Longer hours, more credentials, more pressure, and yet outcomes feel weaker than they should. In the mid-1980s, the average full-time worker put in under 2,000 hours a year. Today, salaried professionals routinely exceed that. More effort, same discipline, different outcomes. That's not a motivation problem. It's a structural one. Hard work didn't stop mattering. It just stopped being the main driver of results. For decades, the formula was simple. Effort led to skill. Skill led to stability. Stability led to progress. You worked hard. You improved. You moved up. Mid-20th century data reflects this clearly. Productivity rose. Wages followed. The system wasn't perfect, but it was predictable. And predictability created trust. People believed effort would eventually show up in outcomes. A college degree once signaled upward mobility. Most children earned more than their parents. The contract felt real. Invest effort, receive stability. The equation didn't disappear. It fractured. Productivity kept rising. Compensation didn't. The gap widened over decades. Competition became global. Information became cheap. Skill became abundant. Hard work stopped being rare. A degree once differentiated. Now it's common. When effort is everywhere, it stops being a differentiator. So the system adapted. Rewards moved away from effort and toward something else. This explains a quiet modern pattern. Capable people feel stuck. They're applying an old strategy in a new system. Working harder, staying consistent, waiting patiently. Burnout is no longer fringe. It's mainstream. These are not unskilled or undisciplined people. They're following the old playbook. But patience only works when the underlying math still favors you. If real purchasing power stagnates over decades, effort doesn't compound. It drains. That's not weakness. That's misalignment. Hard work didn't vanish. It was demoted. What replaced it are force multipliers, mechanisms that separate output from hours. Leverage, positioning, ownership, distribution. Top earners didn't pull ahead by working exponentially harder. They worked inside structures that scale. Equity instead of wages. Reach instead of repetition. Systems instead of hours. In this system, effort is a requirement, not the advantage. Effort keeps you in the game. Leverage decides where you end up. Work harder is comforting advice. It sounds fair. It feels moral. It avoids uncomfortable conversations about structure. Admitting the rules changed destabilizes identity. So the advice stayed the same, even as outcomes diverged. Compensation shifted from labor to ownership, but people blamed themselves instead of the equation. I'm not disciplined enough. When the real issue was, I'm playing a different game than I was taught. When effort is treated as the primary lever, mistakes repeat. Discipline is optimized instead of direction. Stability is protected instead of optionality. Energy is spent pushing ceilings that don't move. Hard work becomes maintenance. Maintenance feels productive, until years pass. Then you realize nothing compounded. Same effort, same output. Different decade. Two people can work equally hard and diverge completely. Not because of intelligence, not because of grit, but because one chose a structure that scales. Effort front-loaded into systems behaves differently than effort sold hourly. This isn't about working less, it's about where effort lives after it's applied. Hard work isn't useless, it's just no longer sufficient. In modern systems, effort without leverage doesn't scale. Consistency without positioning doesn't compound. If your outcomes don't match your effort, the problem may not be you. It may be the strategy you were taught to trust. This channel exists to question those strategies, before time makes the cost visible. Because the real tragedy isn't working hard and failing, it's working hard for decades, and realizing you were solving the wrong problem the entire time.